Bago tayo mag-umpisa, baka pwede niyong i-like ang video na to. Malaking bagay ang like sa aming mga content creators. Maraming salamat po.
To attend to a caucus upstairs, I would just like to manifest that I support po the budget of the OVP. As a matter of fact, kung po pwede po sana pag-aralan natin review, yung binawas po ng 39 million, baka pwede pong ibalik ulit. Because maganda naman po yung mga programa na ilatag po ng OVP.
Well, I fully support the budget of the Office of the Vice President. And then I would like to associate myself again with the statement of Senator Bongo. Total naman, meron nagsabi ni sa Senador na malaki insertion natin. Ibigay na natin sa Office of the Vice President para maging working Vice President siya.
Bilyon-bilyon ang naririnig nating na hinahatid na tinatawag na basura doon sa flood control. Kung tutuusin, wala pang 1 bilyon ang hinihingi ng OVP. Barya lang po ito, ibigay na po natin, dagdagan pa. At dahil dito, nagmotion na po ako na sana ipasa na natin at i-endorso na sa malaking komite.
So, Mr. Remarkable work of the Vice President when she was still the Mayor of Davao City and when she became Vice President, and I sincerely believe Vice President Duterte's initiatives have been instrumental in helping this government uplift lives and promote the welfare of all Filipinos. Tiwala po ako sa ating Vice Presidente at sigurado po ako na nagagamit po ang pondo ng bayan sa tama. Sa totoo lamang po, matagal po ako nagtrabaho kay former President Duterte at naabutan ko po nung siya po ay naging Vice Mayor ng Davao, si Vice President Sara. Kung stricto po si dating Mayor, dating Pangulong Duterte sa panggobyerno, mas stricto po si VP Sara. At alam ko pong magagamit talaga ang pondo para sa pantulong sa ating mga kababayan kesa naman po napupunta lang sa flood control, nagatasan po ng ilang mapagsamantala.
The Office of the Vice President to present their budget.
Thank you, the Honorable Sherwin Gatchalian, the Chairperson of the Committee on Finance of the Senate of the Philippines. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madayaw, mayong adlaw, kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. The Office of the Vice President stands resolutely as a people's institution. Despite challenges, nothing has so far been insurmountable enough to take OVP off its track, derail its course, or completely incapacitate the institution and stop it from serving the interests of the people. The establishment of 10 OVP satellite offices and an extension office in Tondo, Manila has been pivotal in bringing the national government closer to underserved communities across the country with timely and significant government interventions. These offices enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of OVP services, ensuring that help reaches those who need it most. The successful delivery of OVP service was fueled by the courage of the men and women of the office, courage to be committed public servants working to ensure that all Filipinos experience government regardless of their proximity to the capital. Our 2026 budget proposal builds on the outcomes of the previous year, addressing the significant budget reduction we faced while envisioning a path forward through fiscal discipline and strategic partnerships. I will now proceed to discuss the highlights of the 2026 proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President. Good morning, everyone. Presenting the highlights and salient features of the OVP budget under fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program, or the NEP. The Department of Budget and Management has recommended a budget of 902,895,000 for fiscal year 2026 vis-a-vis the 942,038,000 of the proposal of the Office of the Vice President. The amount recommended is 21.33 higher than the fiscal year 2025 budget as appropriated. The proposed budget will cover personal services, or PS, maintenance and operating expenses, or MOOE, and capital outlay. For the PS, the recommended budget for fiscal year 2026 is 212,538,000, which is 23.54% of the total budget. The amount is higher by 12.14% than the fiscal year 2025 PS level. Personal services cover salaries, benefits, and allowances of 162 filled positions. It also includes the special duty allowance for military and uniformed personnel and salary for non-permanent positions. The total proposed PS budget, including retirement and life insurance premiums, or RLIP, is 212,538,000. For the MOOE, the recommended budget is 673,753,000, which is 74.62% of the total budget. The amount is based on the DBM Tier 1 MOOE level of 654,527,000, plus additional Tier 2 requests of 19,226,000 for the information and communication technology or ICT related expenses in line with the DICT endorsed Information Systems Strategic Plan or ISSP. The MOOE includes the allocations of the following: supplies and materials, as well as financial assistance subsidies, which are intended for goods and grants that will be directly received by the OVP target beneficiaries or clients; travel and representation expenses to support the operational needs of the OVP in implementing its programs and projects, including its ceremonial and executive functions; and for the provisions of professional services and rent lease expenses to cover the service fees of contract of service personnel, IT-related consultancy services as per the ISSP, and the operational needs of OVP central and satellite offices. As for the capital outlay, the total budget is 1.84% of the total recommended budget, or equivalent to 16.6 million. The recommended capital outlay covers the procurement of various information and communication technology outlays consistent with the ISSP. By appropriation source, the amount under agency-specific budget is 889,236,000 and 13,695,000 under automatic appropriations for the RLIP. Of the total amount of 902,895,000 under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program, 275,183,000 or 30.5% is allotted for various goods and grants under socio-economic programs of the OVP, which will directly benefit Filipinos. This excludes the logistics and other costs which are necessary to implement the programs. This is presenting the comparative budget of the OVP from 2020 to 2025 under the GAA and 2026 under the NEP. So in 2020, the budget was 708,019,000. In 2021, the budget was 908,790,000. In 2022, the budget was 713,408,000. In 2023, the budget was 2,356,614,000. And in 2024, the budget was 1,885,462,000. In 2025, the budget was 744,146,000. And currently, for 2026, under the NEP, it's 902,895,000. So this is the chart, the graph of the comparative budget. Prior to fiscal year 2023, the OBP's budget ranged from 700 to 900 million, and it was only in fiscal year 2023 and 2024 that the budget exceeded 1 billion pesos, primarily due to increased allocations for financial assistance and subsidy to support the provision of medical and burial assistance. For fiscal year 2025, the OVP budget returned to its pre-2023 levels with 744,015,000 allocated for 2025. The same budget level is maintained under the proposed 2026 budget with adjustments for inflation, including the mandated salary increases. Since 2020, and even with higher budgets in 2023 and 2024, the OVP was able to maintain a high full-year budget utilization or obligation rate of at least 85.55% at end year. Presented is the comparison between the 2025 and 2026 budgets under GAA and under NEP. The net increase of 158,749,000 is attributable to the following. Personal services increase of 21,313,000 due to increase in number of field positions from 149 to 162, and the corresponding standard salary increases across all items. MOOE items with a total increase of 174,521,000 is for supplies and materials expenses. This is the increase in the provision for disaster relief and the rice programs, the financial assistance and subsidies for the Magnegosyo Taday program, the professional services, provision for existing contract of service personnel, the rent and lease expenses, and there is a reduction of 28,085,000 for representation expenses to partially support the requirement for PS. For capital outlay, there is a decrease in the amount of 39,796,000 in fiscal year 2026. In fiscal year 2026, included a lower portion for ICT equipment. In addition, fiscal year 2025 included budget for purchase of 4 motor vehicles and other machinery and equipment. There is also an increase in 2.7 million in retirement and life insurance premiums, which is mandatory under the GSIS contributions. So these are the accomplishments of the Office of the Vice President. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP aims to promote the welfare of every Filipino in line with its vision to create lasting impact on the lives of every Filipino people through its socio-economic programs and services. Since 2022, the OVP has implemented the following programs: the Pagbabago, 1 Million Learners and Trees campaign, the disaster response operations, relief for indigents and individuals in crisis and emergencies, or RISE, You Can Be VP, Libreng Sakay, Kalusugan Food Trucks and Pansarap, Magnegosyo Taday, and the Medical and Burial Assistance. The OVP programs are implemented in the central office and through 10 satellite offices and 1 extension office, which continue to operate in key areas in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao to provide Filipinos with immediate access to the services provided by the Office of the Vice President. In Luzon, we have the Cagayan Valley Satellite Office located in Kawayan City, Isabela. In Pangasinan Satellite Office, we have the office located in Dagupan City, and for the Bicol Satellite Office, we have the office in Legazpi City. In Visayas, for the Cebu, Bohol, and Siquijor Satellite Office, it is located in Cebu City. And for Eastern Visayas Satellite Office, it is located in Tacloban City. And for the Panay and Negros Islands Satellite Office, it is located in Bacolod City. And in Mindanao, for the Caraga Satellite Office, it is located in Butuan City. In Southern Mindanao, it is located in Davao City. And for BARM, it is in Cotabato City. And for Western Mindanao, it is in Zamboanga City. For fiscal year 2024, the OVP had a target of 1,013,620 beneficiaries for all the programs, and a total of 1,780,079 individuals and groups were served. The high performance was achieved with the help of 470 strategic partnerships that were established with government agencies, civil society organizations, medical institutions, and other external stakeholders. Likewise, the OVP successfully implemented 99% of all planned projects and achieved a high average satisfaction rating of 98% for its services, including the requests acted upon within the standard processing time. Finally, the office completed a total of 490 engagements with partners and stakeholders. As to the financial targets in 2024, the OVP obligation rate was above the 85% mark. The OVP had 85.55% budget utilization rate with 1.783 billion amounts obligated, and with a disbursement rate of 86.03% or 1.53 billion disbursed. For fiscal year 2025, the OVP has continued the implementation of its flagship programs designed to provide the Filipino people with access to basic social services, with a target of 1,047,935 beneficiaries for the year, a total of 595,757 individuals, or 57% of the target, were served across all OVP programs and services during the semester. The OVP has also established 242 partnerships to support the development and implementation of its various initiatives. Notably, the OVP successfully implemented 100% of planned projects encompassing activities such as social preparation, technical assistance, and program implementation. Furthermore, the OVP achieved an average satisfaction rating of 97% for its services, exceeding the target of 90%. In addition, the office completed a total of 770 engagements with partners and stakeholders, further strengthening collaboration and support for its programs. As of June 30, 2025, the OVP has 756.33 million total release allotments and a continuing appropriation equivalent to 147.1 million, totaling the available allotment for the year to 903.43 million. For the first semester, the OVP has already obligated 34.3% of the available allotment received, equivalent to 309.69 million, and with a disbursement rate of 66.8% or 206.83 million. Although the current rate of 34.3% falls short of the mid-year target, the OVP's mid-year utilization rate remains consistent with previous years, which are below 50%, since some of the OVP programs are implemented only in the second semester of the year, such as the Pagbabago program, wherein bag distributions are made after the opening of the school year, and activities for disaster response, which are usually during the typhoon season starting July, and some procurements are ongoing. With these, the OVP remains on track in maintaining an obligation rate above 85% by year-end, as has been achieved in prior years. The OVP holds a distinct position in our bureaucracy. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP carries out functions that complement the work of other government agencies while advancing the well-being of the Filipino people. The proposed 902.895 million for fiscal year 2026 budget for the OVP will help us continue with our mission to deliver efficient, accessible, and responsive public service for the good of all Filipinos. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Before we continue, let me acknowledge the presence of Senator Padilla, Senator De La Rosa, and Senator Estrada. And before I open the floor for manifestations and questions, let me express my support to the OVP budget. Looking at the data to include automatic appropriations, the increase of the OVP budget is only by 1.3%. I'll just flash the slide. No? So if you count in the increases in inflation, increase in salary, the total increase of the OVP budget is only 1.3%. Kaya ang tawag ko nga dito, bare basic budget for the Office of the Vice President. And let me also commend and express my support to some of the programs of the OVP. One of the programs na alam ko mahalaga sa mga kababayan natin, yung Pagbabago Campaign Project, in which nagbibigay ang OVP ng mga school supplies. No? Simpleng bagay ito, pero sa mga constituents natin, ang school supplies, napakalaking bagay na rin. So to date, meron nang nagbigay na 403,000 na mga school supplies. Another project that I also support is the Pansarap project, or the feeding program for severely wasted students. Alam natin, almost 20% of our students are malnourished. So to date, there are about 16,000 students that were fed by the Pansarap project. Another project that I find notable is the Kalusugan food truck, in which the OVP is also helping evacuees, yung mga tinamaan ng mga kababayan natin ng salanta, o nasalantang mga kababayan natin. To date, they have already given 6,500 evacuees with feeding program and support. And another program that I find notable, yung RICE program, the Relief for Individuals in Crisis and Emergencies, nagbibigay ng bigas sa mga mahirap nating kababayan. Marami sa ating it's simpleng programa pero napakahalaga dahil marami sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na yung mga nasa malalayong lugar, pumapasok ng eskwelahan ng gutom at hindi sila natututo. To date, 197,000 beneficiaries ang nabigay na ng RICE program ng ating butihing Vice Presidente kasama ang kanyang mga kasamaan sa OVP. Alam ko marami pang mga programa pero ito yung mga programa na para sa akin ay may kaugnayan sa edukasyon at ang edukasyon ay isa sa mga mahalagang advokasya natin at ang ating Vice President bilang dating kalihim ng Department of Education, alam niya yung mga pangangailangan ng ating mga mag-aaral at mga estudyante. So I support all of these programs. So with that, we'll open the floor for manifestations. We'll start off with Senator Erwin Tulfo, who was here ahead of time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question now is, I noticed that from 942 million, binawasan po ito in-slash ng 902.8 million na lamang, nawala po yung 39.143 million. Ang tanong ko po ngayon, Mr. Chair, ano po mga proyekto o programa na maapektuhan po nito, ito pong slash po ng 39.143 million, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Attorney Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your Honor, the amount that was not considered by the DBM only pertains to ICT equipment. So out of our original request, only a portion of that was included in the NEP. So we will just reprioritize the ICT equipment that we will procure and will work within the budget that was provided in the NEP.
So, Mr. Chair, nabawasan po ito para sa ICT po ninyo. So, saan ho na manggagaling ngayon yung kailangan ninyong purchase for this purpose, Mr. Chair?
As mentioned, Mr. Chair, we will just review our requirements and prioritize based on the urgency of the ICT equipment that we need to procure. So some of the items will have to be deferred or we may need to forgo some of the items, Mr. Chair.
Ano-ano po, Mr. Chair, mga bago existing programs ng OVP na popondohan po ng OVP this year? Kasi I noticed from 744.1 million po na budget ng 2025, you're asking for 902. Pero nabanggit nga po ni VP kanina na mostly ay sa MOOE, mapupunta po 100 plus million po yata. Na kaya ang tanong ko po ngayon, ano-ano po mga programs, existing programs, sa mga bago na popondohan po ng OVP?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Basically, it would be the same programs that we are implementing this year in 2025. So we will just include additional provision for magnegosyo taday because in 2025, we are only using the continuing appropriations from 2024. So part of the increase will also go to the procurement for disaster relief operations, Mr. Chair.
All right, Mr. Chair, notice also, ongoing po ba ito, Mr. Chair, itong OVP program and activities, ito pong Al-Janaza Kit Assistance, tsaka Sympathy Flower Program, is this ongoing or is this new program of the OVP?
It's part of our ongoing programs, Mr. Chair. It used to be part of our medical and burial assistance program, but we are running it as a separate program now because instead of giving monetary grants, we provide a kit, Al-Janaza Kit.
Mr. Chair, I just noticed kasi po like I have an office at Zamba Sultan, Zamboanga City. Yung mga kababayan po nating Muslim, pag may burial po, hindi naman po sila gumagamit ng ataol, kundi naghihiram na lang po ng sasakyan, which I provided my office there in Zamba Sultan, Zamboanga City. Halos everyday po, hinihiram po ng mga kapatid nating Muslim para maisakay po yung bangkay para mailibing. Pero maganda pong programa itong Al-Janaza Kit Assistance and Sympathy Flower Program. My last question, Mr. Chair, kung meron pong dapat i-prioritize ng komite na ito, ano po ang mga dapat dagdagan na pondo? Saan, Mr. Chair?
Ms. Sanchez, before you respond, let me recognize the presence of our Majority Leader, Senator Zubir.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that would be the disaster relief operations since that is the second highest requested but assistance from the Office of the Vice President after the medical and burial assistance.
That's all from me, Mr. Chair. Thank you po.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. Next will be Senator Go.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
before we recognize the other members of the Senate, and I know many of you just want to make manifestations, we have parliamentary courtesy here when usually in my how many budgets that I've handled, I've been to almost 23 budgets already. Pag bisita po ng Office of the Vice President and President, we give them parliamentary courtesy, and usually their budgets, and in this case, the budget of the Vice President is already a lean and mean budget. Hindi, wala na pong dagdag, kawawa nga, di ba po, Mr. President? So maybe we can afford them the courtesy that we can approve the budget. Of course, after the manifestations on the part of the leadership of the Senate, we'd like to extend that courtesy to the Office of the Vice President.
Yes,
Uh,
Mr. Chair. Also, on the
Mr.
part
Chair.
of the minority, we also
Senator
we would like to be associated with the motion of the majority leader.
Senator Marcos.
That was my question, Mr. Chair. Is that a motion that we therefore endorse the budget of the Vice President from the subcommittee to the Mother Committee of Finance?
Well, let's give the members an opportunity to give their manifestations. No?
That's fine,
All right.
but may I make that motion and hold it in abeyance
Yes.
until everyone has
You can do it at
manifested?
the end
Thank
after
you.
the manifestations.
Mr. Chair, before I have to attend to a caucus upstairs, I would just like to manifest that I support po the budget of the OVP. As a matter of fact, kung po pwede po sana pag-aralan natin review, yung binawas po na 39 million, baka pwede pong ibalik ulit. Because maganda naman po yung mga programang na ilatag po ng OVP. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. Next is Senator Go.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. I also hope we could accord parliamentary courtesy to the Vice President and approve her office budget swiftly. Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, and to Vice President Sara Duterte, good day. Mr. Chair, I just want to express my strong support for the proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President for 2026. As a proud Dabawenyo, I have witnessed firsthand the remarkable work of the Vice President when she was still the mayor of Davao City, and when she became Vice President, and I sincerely believe Vice President Duterte's initiatives have been instrumental in helping this government uplift lives and promote the welfare of all Filipinos. Tiwala po ako sa ating Vice Presidente at sigurado po ako na nagagamit po ang pondo ng bayan sa tama. Sa totoo lamang po, matagal po ako nagtrabaho kay former President Duterte at naabutan ko po nung siya po'y naging Vice Mayor ng Davao, si Vice President Sara. Kung stricto po si dating Mayor, dating Pangulong Duterte sa panggobyerno, mas stricto po si VP Sara. At alam ko pong magagamit talaga ang pondo para sa pantulong sa ating mga kababayan, kesa naman po napupunta lang sa flood control, nagatasan po ng ilang mapagsamantala. Sa mga nakaraang taon, nagkaroon ng OBP ng mga programang nagbibigay ng tunay na benepisyo sa ating mga mamamayan. From medical assistance to relief operations, educational support, pangkabuhayan programs at libreng sakay among others. Sa totoo lamang po itong libreng sakay ay atin rin po itong sinusuportahan in my own small way po. The Medical and Burial Assistance Program has assisted more than 187,000 beneficiaries when it was still given funding. In 2024, the OBP was able to distribute more than 144,000 to individuals in need. The Magnegosyo Taday program has given entrepreneurial opportunities such as livelihood assistance and training programs to various marginalized individuals and groups. The OBP has always stood ready to assist during disaster relief operations, having able to provide relief goods to disaster-stricken areas and assist more than 200,000 individuals. Nakikita ko rin po ito dahil ako mismo, umiikot rin po ako sa mga tinatamaan po ng bagyo. The OBP also has the Libreng Sakay program, which has served over 1 million passengers in Metro Manila, Bacolod, Cebu, and Davao. Ito po yung nabanggit ko kanina na atin pong sinusuportahan. For this year, 2025, we push to restore the funding. For the record lang po, Madam Vice President, meron lang po akong ibabanggitin sa inyo. For this year, ibig sabihin ito po yung last year na budget deliberation. Gusto ko lang po ipakita sa screen yung 2025 NEP ninyo na proposed budget. Sandali lang po, ma'am. Gusto ko lang i-share po sa inyo. 2025. Hindi, yung NEP. Sana yan. Ayun, yung 2025 na NEP ninyo, yun po yung proposed budget ninyo for this year sa 2025. Pagdating po rito, after the GAB, ibig sabihin, after dumaan po sa lower house, ginawa pong 733 million. So ibig po sabihin na nabawasan po pagdating dito sa Senado. Ito po yung sa 2025. We push to restore the funding for socio-economic programs of the OBP, which was cut by the lower house. Dahil alam natin na malaking tulong po ito sa mahalagang programa po ng OBP na may direktang benepisyo sa ating mga kababayan. From the proposed 2 billion in the NEP, the OBP only received 733 million in the 2025 GAA. Hindi po napondohan at binawasan po ang pondo sa mga programa na pangtulong po sa ating mga kababayan. In fact, I wrote a letter to then Finance Chair Senator Grace po to restore funding for the OBP. Nakakalungkot lang po na hindi ito napagbigyan. Majority rules dito at minsan po ay small bycam po ang nagdi-decide. Marami po sanang matutulungan ito kung na-approve po itong budget. Ma'am, ayan po yung sulat ko for yung last year po. Sa totoo lang po, inihalal po ang Vice President hindi lamang para umupo sa pwesto at maging spare tire. Inihalal po siya para maging working Vice President para maglingkod at tumugon sa pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan. That is why for next year, I urge the Senate to support the budget of the OVP in full. Napakaliit po ng increase. 1% lang po. Pero alam naman natin na marami pong matutulungan. Kung pwede lang po, Mr. Chair, kung allowed po ito, bawasan po ang budget ko sa opisina sa Senado. Kahit konti, ilagay na lang po sa OVP. Mr. Chair, lahat tayo na sa gobyerno, public servants, we are meant to serve the Filipino people. Basic mandate po ang tumulong, lalo na po sa mga nangailangan ng social services. Nakikita ko po yan, mahaba po yung pila sa kanyang mga satellite office. We must further empower and help BP's office to respond to the needs of the Filipino people, especially the marginalized sector. Muli, nais ko pong ipahayag ang aking suporta para sa budget ng OBP. Alang-alang na lang po sa mga kababayan nating mahirap. Let's support her to be a working Vice President. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Senator Go. Next is Senator Marcos.
Yes, karangalan at ligaya ko na makasama sa ibang mga project na ito. Kaya alam ko na talagang magaganda at tulong sa ating mga mamamayan ang ginagawa ng OVP. Bilyon-bilyon ang naririnig nating na hinahatid na tinatawag na basura doon sa flood control. Kung tutuusin, wala pang 1 bilyon ang hinihingi ng OVP. Barya lang po ito, ibigay na po natin, dagdagan pa. At dahil dito, nagmotion na po ako na sana ipasa na natin at i-endorso na sa malaking komite.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may. So, there was a motion duly seconded by Senator Amy Marcos. I made that motion earlier. Of course, with the amendment that yung budget daw ni Senator Bongo, idagdag natin sa OVP. Kasi siya na mismo nag-offer, Mr. President. So, you can make that amendment in the budget para madagdagan sila. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Padilla, do you have any manifestation? Before I act on that, I know that you have my manifestation.
Maraming salamat po. Sinusundan ko na po ang silambit ni Senator Marcos at si
About
Senator Zubiri.
Yeah, thank you. Senator Estrada, before I act on the motion,
Well, first of all, I fully support the budget of the Office of the Vice President. And then I would like to associate myself again with the statement of Senator Bongo. Total naman, meron nagsabi ni sa senador na malaki insertion natin. Ibigay na natin sa Office of the Vice President para maging working Vice President siya.
thank you for that manifestation. There's a motion made by our Majority Leader and Senator Marcos, duly seconded by Senator Bato, Senator Padilla, Senator Estrada. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the budget of the Office of the Vice President is now deemed submitted for plenary's consideration. So, congratulations. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Madam Vice
Mr.
President.
Chair, and thank you, members.
Sa lumang silid, mag-isa kang tahimik. Walang kamera, palakpak ay wala na. Ngunit sa bawat pader ng bayang iniwan mo, may pangalan mong di na mabubura.
Minsan kang naging balikat ng mahihina, kalaban ng takot, kakampi ng masa. Di mo man laging nasabi ang tama.
kaya naming lahat, pero tumindi ka nang walang pag-atras. At ngayong pagod ka na, tatay, kami naman ang sasalo ng bawat bigat. Hanggang sa dulo, ikaw ay mahal, kahit papagod na ang iyong katawan. Tatay, salamat sa iyong paglaban. Ngayon, kami naman hanggang sa dulo. Di ka namin iiwan. Ang kwento mo'y dala ng bayan. Tahimik ka na sa mga batikos, wala nang tugon, wala nang galit, pero sa mata ng mga maralita, naroon pa rin ang tapat mong alaala. Marami mang di nakaintindi, marami pa rin ang di nakakalimot. At ngayong wala ka ng kapangyarihan, tatay, ang magtatanggol sa'yo ay hindi ka nag-iisa, kahit ngayon. Hanggang sa dulo, tangan ka pa rin sa puso ng batang minsan mong pinagkain. Hanggang sa dulo, di ka nag-iisa. Ang dasal ng bayan ay sa'yo pa rin. Tatay, kami naman ang lalaban sa ngalan mo, sa alaala mo. Hanggang sa dulo, dalangin ka ng puso ng masa.
At yun na nga mga kababayan, ano na ang masasabi mo? Kung mayroon kayong hinaing at komento patungkol sa balitang ito, please comment down below. Pag-uusapan natin yan sa comment section. At kung nagustuhan nyo ang video, ay huwag kalimutang mag-like at i-share na din para mas marami pang makaalam at umabot ito sa marami sa ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat po.
Mabuti pa ang sardinas, may label. Eh tayo, wala.
Oo nga pala.
Nay, ito na yung bayad ko sa isa, ano? O, kunin mo yung isa. Isa muna, iyan, no? Tapos, isa pa, di ba? 4 dapat na sardinas, eh. O, yan. 3 na. Pang-4 na sardinas. O, okay na.